Chris Parker, Cleveland scene. In the aftermath of the Heat Spurs series, there was a lot of talk about your being amnestied. I was curious what your thoughts were when that talk was going on.
I mean, amnesty is part of it. For me, I think it had very little with the fact that Miami lost. It had more to do with how good San Antonio was last year. You know, San Antonio looked unbeatable in that series, and to get through the West, which I was a part of last year, was a feat itself. And for them to be able to do that and then to play as well as they did in the finals, I think the talk should have been more about how good San Antonio was than the fact that an old 33-year-old man was amnestied. I'm 34 now, by the way.
Anybody else?
Mike, David McMenamin, ESPN.com. Playing off the amnesty thing, have you thought the what-if thing, if you hadn't been amnestied, you know, there was some reports that LeBron wasn't too happy about losing, you know, a piece, an asset like that on the team, and if somehow Miami had gotten through, despite how good the Spurs were, you'd both be down in South Beach still potentially tonight.
Yeah, but you know, my more what if was, you know, being a part of something that doesn't happen very often, which was a three-peat. That to me, basketball, but being a part of that is something that's really special. But you can't look in the past. You know, there's this path that I'm on now to me is where I'm supposed to be, and I was able to go to Memphis and have a great year, be healthy. Prove to myself more than anybody that I can still do what I want to do at this level. And I feel like I have a lot of basketball because of that left in me now. And so that was my path. And now I'm here, and I'm a part of a special situation again, and hopefully we'll make the most of it.
Mike Lee, Washington Post. You also played with Kevin Love very early in his career. You know, he's taken a lot of heat for not ever getting to the playoffs. What do you say about just maybe your conversation with him about maybe his drives, and maybe now that he's on his stage to have a chance to prove what he can really do on playing meaningful games?
Well, just seeing his growth, first of all, has been awesome. You know, for me, it's great to see. You know, I take pride in being a good vet, and I had him at 18 years old, and to see his growth and to see how he's really growing basketball-wise. You know, here's a guy who's averaging 25 and 10. Yeah, he hasn't made the playoffs yet, but he's dealt with a lot in Minnesota, and he continues to grow. And you get a guy who now individually knows what he's doing on the basketball court, where he wants to be as a player, but has that hunger to win. No one ever wants to be considered a person who hasn't won, and he understands that. So to talk to him in the locker room now and see where his mind's at, to me that hunger is something that's very important, and it's good to see.
Josh, we're from the Cantor Repository. Mike, you mentioned being healthy last year. Was there anything you changed or figured out physically that got you healthy and was able to get you back? I mean, you play all of 82, I think, last year after having all the injury problems in years before.
Just a lot of prep. You know, I did a lot more prep on my body. You know, I think I started learning. I've always been a person who spends a lot of time in the gym and pounding and doing those things. I figured out that at this age now, less is more sometimes, and take more of a mental approach to games and sometimes a physical approach. You know, I started realizing that this was way more important for me to be on the court during games than it is sometimes, you know, 3 hours before practice. So, you know, I'm starting to, my wife won't say this, but I think I'm starting to wise up a little bit.
All right, thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Hey, we're joined now by Mike Miller. Mike, some question your last year in Miami about your health and your future, your career. How good did it feel to go to the Grizzlies last year and actually play 82 games?
That was great. That was the best thing about it. Obviously being there competing in the playoffs. But to be able to get healthy and play like I knew I was capable of again was fun.
On this particular team, a vet like you probably isn't so concerned about being on the cover of ESPN magazine or Sports Illustrated. This kind of lets you, you talked about earlier in the big press group that you got to take care of the body these days. So is it a little bit better as a vet to maybe be a role player coming off the bench or starting, but coming in with a specialist mentality?
Yeah, no, to me it's whatever they need mentality. I've been blessed to be able to be part of this for now 15th season, which is crazy. But that's my mentality. Come here and give them whatever they need. It doesn't matter if it's start, come off the bench. It doesn't matter if it's 2 minutes or 27 minutes. Be prepared. 40 might be a little rough. If it's a back to back, I can do one time 40.
Mike, of course, you're born, raised in South Dakota, Midwest boy. This team to me is so different because after the day of LeBron's letter, I kind of get the feeling that here's LeBron and his hired help. I was talking to Austin Carr earlier and told him it kind of feels like the Magnificent Seven. But I've never seen a team that really front and center says, hey, we want to come to a city and win a championship for that city. And I think that gives this a special air about it.
Well, obviously for me, I've seen the passion of this fan base. I've been, like I said, I've been playing this 14 years. Every time I come in here, the fan base is passionate about their team. I didn't know the whole backstory until I got into it, until LeBron, started talking about it. About how long it's been since they won a championship. So that's exciting. For me, that's exciting. LeBron's passion for wanting to win a championship back here in his hometown. It's why he came back and what he wants to do. So to be a part of this, if we were able to do that as a team, it would be a lot of fun.
Last question. I had mentioned to a couple of associates that I was socializing with last week that there had been a story on ESPN that maybe the Cavs tried to recruit you a couple of years ago, and you're looking at a young team. It just really isn't the fit for a vet. But now maybe the timing is right, and then you come in with Sean Marion, with the Kevin Love. It's got to be a lot of fun to kind of look at this as an extended All-Star experience, as opposed to being sent to Siberia.
No, it is. For me, that's what it's all about. It's Cleveland and the Cavaliers organization did an amazing job of building talent and developing that talent, keeping it, and now that you sprinkle in the greatest player on the planet and a lot of veteran guys that have been there, done that. Now the mix is right, and the mix is where it needs to be, and we're all excited for this thing to start.
Perfect. Mike Miller, thank you very much.